Looking to save money? It starts overhead. Insulating attics is a little different than insulating other areas of your home, but it can be just as easy. One of the best ways to insulate your attic is with our attic protector system. This uses our loose fill insulation, called Attic Protector, and our machine blows the insulation into your attic. With this type of system, you can get insulation into nooks and crannies of the attic without having to crawl around. You can even add it on top of old insulation to increase your R value, or insulating power. You can rent a machine at a local home improvement store that sells John's Manville Attic Protector. Double check that you come home with all its parts so you're not making 2 trips to the store. And don't forget these. We want to make sure you have the tools you need and keep you safe. While JM Attic Protector is less dusty than other blown-in insulation, it's still recommended that you wear a dust mask and adjust it so it's snug on your face. If you're sporting this or one of these, just be aware that they might get in the way of wearing a mask correctly. Do your best to create a good fit. And don't forget other protective clothing like goggles, long-sleeve shirt and pants, hat, and gloves to make you more comfortable during installation. Here are a few things to do before you start. First, attach the paper rulers to several joists around the attic. After you pick the right R value for your location, this will show you how high you need to fill your attic to achieve that value. Second, seal any places there might be air leaks with caulk for small gaps and foam for gaps up to 3 inches. Finally, protect any objects that produce heat, like these can lights, by building barriers around them called baffles. It's like a box that goes around the heat source. You can construct one using cardboard or rigid foam. The baffle should be built to keep insulation at least 3 inches away from the object on all sides, and it should cover the top of the heat source as well to keep insulation out. Ventilation is incredibly important with attic insulation. Be sure to use a vent chute so the fiberglass doesn't come into contact with the underside of the roof. Read the operating instructions on the machine you're using. Each machine is a little different. It's a good idea to check the machine over before you get started and make sure all the joints are properly connected or sealed so that you're getting the best performance. Attic Protector, our loose fill insulation, comes in highly compressed bags. You'll first want to cut around the middle of the bag. Then break the bag into 2 halves. Take 1 half, still wrapped in plastic, to the machine. Cut the bag lengthwise. The insulation will begin expanding out the side. Guide it into the machine's hopper, which will separate and fluff that insulation so it can be fed into the hose and spread evenly in your attic. Let's get started. Set your machine to the recommended initial settings on your installation's package label. You'll need to be in the attic manning the hose. So either grab a trusted partner to flip the switch and feed the machine, or just use the remote on the end of the hose. Keep the hose parallel to the floor. Fill in the direction of the joists and not across them. Begin at the far wall and work your way back towards your entrance. You don't want to insulate yourself into a corner. To avoid overpacking, make sure the insulation falls about 10 to 12 feet away from you. In tight spaces, you can direct or bounce insulation off your hands so that it falls with less force to prevent overpacking. Just make sure you're wearing gloves. When you run into cross-bracing or wiring, keep the hose close to the floor so both sides of the obstruction get covered in insulation. Check the ruler to see if you've achieved the right depth for your R value, and scan your attic to see if there are any low spots. Make sure you've covered the entire area evenly. Don't forget about the attic door or hatch. Foam boards and weather stripping can do the trick. Nice work. Interested in insulating other areas